Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of iRacing's Week 13 mashup here at Still Racing. We have got some crazy stuff for you tonight. We have Pro Light 2 trucks, I believe, at Lime Rock Park. Then after this, we have the VW Beetle Lights at Tsukuba. I am Brody. Joined with me today is Ule. Ule, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that I'm able to be here and commentate this spectacular race with you. I think it's going to be interesting to see the trucks go right around Lime Rock. I've watched videos of this before, but never experienced it firsthand myself.
Indeed, I've driven the circuit and I've driven the trucks, but never in this combination.
No, I think the most insane combination I've done is GT3 around this track. Of course, done a little bit of truck myself, as you see someone go on the grass immediately. I think that's something we're gonna see a lot of. And he's actually taking the first corner normally. There's no track limits for this race. Let's see if he does not decide to go straight.
Let's see what Leon does.
Interesting.
Sorry, we're a bit late today. iRacing decided to shut down for maintenance. Obviously, understandably for the new Fuji circuit, because the qualifying may include track limit scrutiny, but I can assure you that's just part of the circuit there that Leon Tuck will definitely skip during the race. This first event that we have planned is essentially a free-for-all, to my knowledge. No track limits, no contact.
We are taking the chicane as well.
Indeed,
everything. Yeah, I was wondering if you took. You can just see the second corner just behind the chicane. We saw Leon go through there, and if you take that normally, it would just be a fast right-hander, which even in something like the Mazda MX-5, you'll get a bit airborne. So I can imagine in the trucks you'll see a lot of air coming through, and I think if you manage to get a catch of all the trucks going through that corner at the beginning of the race, it's going to be a spectacular sight.
See Paulo Lopez there, drifting amazingly. No, sorry, that was Daniel Hieronymo. I must have misclicked. It is Paulo. He's purple first, but he's 2 yellow sectors. Daniel's gone fastest. I think this is probably the most relaxing we'll ever have it tonight. The lone car qualifying. I could not imagine a group qualifying session in these trucks around here.
Would be something of its own.
Indeed it would.
I think even with how many cars do we have? We have 7 cars, right? I think that's gonna be spectacular. If you see the first driver going straight from turn 1 over to, I think it's gonna be turn 4.
That's
yep,
Paulo
completely cuts everything.
What we're definitely going to see throughout the race. I've just counted, there is 13 cars in the session.
Well, that's okay. So we're just waiting for the cars to go in, and then he cuts the grass. Let's see, does he get airborne? Not as much as I would have hoped for. It's a bit underwhelming, I must say.
Indeed.
I was expecting more.
Oh, and there's a clonk into the tyre barrier there. I've seen an array of drivers from all around the world, actually. The likes of Paulo from Portugal. Leon from the Netherlands. Charlie Lord, who I drove within the Majors 24 from the United Kingdom. We have Mike J. Elliott sat at the end of the pit lane here, not qualifying just yet, from America.
Alright, ladies, just a little reminder about the race. We will not jump the start, so you can only go when...
Talking about the Majors 24, how was it to compete in 24-hour race just before the actual 24 hours of Le Mans?
At full speed, so make sure in options that the pit limit is...
Okay, we're just going up there. Sorry about that. Only had a few minutes to get everything sorted, but we are rocking and rolling. I think far as I can see,
Also, if you're on the scenic cam, there is a gnome. This is great.
I believe Kevin Stam is just
Very important.
giving the drivers a quick briefing on what is going to happen.
Remember the snow track limits?
Indeed. And Charlie's setting personal bests. He comes across the line. Is that lap time going to count? Probably not, because that was his third lap. I'll wait to turn the side radio off. Oh, that's a lovely drift from Charlie. And, okay, maybe not so much, but I might keep it going straight. Everyone has completed their qualifying laps, apart from Benjamin Seiss and Mike J. Elliott. Okay. First one through. Find this little thing.
Is this Charlie Lord we're looking at now?
We are, yes. I think
Yeah,
everyone has completed their mandatory qualifying laps.
Okay, perfect. My feed is a little bit pixelated, so I can't see the entire livery on his car, but it does seem like it's the one that he's been running for the Formula V and GT3s as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I can see a golden skull on the side with liquid.
Certainly
death.
looks like it.
Yeah, and Fanatec on the back. So
Iconic livery for him to be running. And hey, are you running the same livery? I know there's another driver that has another driver that's run the same livery, but I'm not sure who that is. Oh, bit of a tap of the wall there for Charlie, as he still managed to go green. Take that as however you wish to. Let's see, final corner, he ignores the final corner completely, goes sideways, huge
shooting through like
wobble there.
Queen there. But
Ciao.
I think
Turn left to go right.
Indeed. I think that's qualifying been advancing out. And here is your grid for race 1 of tonight's absolute chaotic events. We have Daniel Geronimo on pole position, Paulo Lopez alongside him. Then we have Ash Knight, and then Kevin Stam on your second row of the grid, Leon and Andy on your third row, Charlie and Mike on your fourth, Benjamin and Tiago on your fifth, Michael Gerdin and Kevin Burke on your sixth, and then if I can get the button, I believe it's that. Yeah, Matteo rounding out the grid in P13 there. So, only a few more seconds left.
You would.
Let's
You
see what
may
they're
sing.
doing.
Are you saying anything of value? Are they just wishing each other good race, which
I
in
can't
itself
tell.
is
I
a lot of value,
I did
isn't
mute
it?
all chat in my settings. So I would just assume that it's either take care of this first lap and then go nuts afterwards.
And this lights out, and away we go to Daniel. He's leading. He's got a great start here. Let's see who's that in P2 and 3. I'm not sure, but it's Lightning McQueen that has got a lightning start.
Indeed, and as you can see,
Actually,
drivers
it's
not
S9.
wanting to give any space. You can see a little tap there already, and drivers.
Oh,
slowing
hey,
down
everybody
the
going
race.
wide.
It's such a struggle to try and follow all of this.
Completely ignoring everything that's black on this track, as they actually go a little bit on the black stuff. Calling through the chicane over to the corner that we have over a little bit of airborne at the back of the grid, and it's dang, he's got an excellent good. Was that a bit of contact at the back? Oh, yeah, Summers was Benjamin says, yeah.
I think he'll be glad that there's no damage.
Oh, certainly, well, that did not look good.
So
Do we have a
much coming up on my
replay?
feed. I don't think we're going to get many replays. Oh, yeah, you can see
Everybody's
a car
gone off
flicking
track.
in the background over there. This is absolutely insane.
trying to figure out what's actually going on here. It's still Daniel leading somewhere up there.
He's a 4.5 second.
Yes,
So
there
he's
he
managed
is.
to
And
escape everything that's happened.
he's actually getting a really nice start, isn't he? It's Kevin Stam. Got to follow now. And is this a race that you'll be practicing for?
I think
in any
would,
way?
Yeah. I think every driver has done somewhat a generous amount of practice for this. Oh my god! Okay.
Oh, big contact there between.
He got sent up.
Yeah, who was that?
Into another universe.
But yeah, see Benjamin Size in the red on the timetable.
Oh, we got some brake checking there from Kevin Stam.
Oh.
Like I mentioned, this is an absolute free-for-all, so anything goes.
Luckily, we don't have to purchase it. Oh, it's Kevin Stam going
really
really wide.
And it's Tapman there just taking everything. Although I think kind of had that sideways moment. You see Ash Knight charging through.
So he's down to 7th. He was second at the beginning of this race, wasn't he? What has happened to Ash Knight? I'd love to get a replay, but I know that's probably gonna be
I'm getting
difficult
so
to say the least.
He came back on tracks. In my opinion, it's gonna be almost impossible.
There's a big contact with the wall from Ash and big contact with the barrier as well. He's gonna enjoy no damage to his car. As that has not been able. Someone's going into the pit lane, yeah. And I would not believe that is meant. Pit stop new on Ash.
I'm not sure whose that was by.
I think it's Paulo Lopez, wasn't it?
It was car number 4. Michelle. Oh, and he's sent someone else. He sent Andy Tapman on his roof.
It's taking the free fall a bit too serious. Or literal.
Things have changed at the front.
Daniel's still leading, but he's Leon is running still.
And then I think Silent Assassin has to go to Mateo, starting from the back of the grid, up in 3rd place. A beautiful design there. Very nice.
Unable to say that one, unfortunately.
This is closest battle on track from Timing Tower. Neil's getting ever so closer. Taking a tighter line, getting a better run. Oh my god, he's literally on it. He's on his bumper there. He's giving him a little nudge. Yeah,
bit of bump drive,
possibly.
Perhaps. Question is, now we see Daniel actually taking the line on the tarmac through the final corner, and is that because he's realized that Leon may be gaining a bit too much time through that corner?
Oh, there's the
and
nudge. Is he going to carry this through?
It's having a bit too much for Daniel's liking.
I think he's successfully done it. No, maybe not.
But is he? No. I think
go.
he was gonna drive him off there, but Leon, because he's a great man. Great sportsmanship, Leon. Is that Mike going slow?
Yeah, he's
no,
just moment. The thing went to last too quickly for me to get the replay.
Too many off tracks.
Indeed, it's just going up and up and up and up. It's just swiping through so much. Not expected to be like that, but he's still really fighting hard for the lead. I believe it's the first driver. Oh my god, you can see Carnage in front of him. He's the first driver to complete 10 laps, or to reach the 10-lap mark.
Now, how many laps have they done? I cannot see that one neither. I could imagine this race actually is a bit more intense than you would imagine, because of course normally you would have some defined track limits
Take
you
a
have to
ride with
go
Leon.
after.
He's
But right now,
beautiful
it's
Helen
just wherever your car fits, you can go.
can. Okay.
Quite literally.
The traffic up ahead. What Leon does.
Looks like he didn't get a good exit out of that penultimate corner, but seems he got the final one right, and looks like he's got a much better exit.
Yeah. But it looks like it's taking.
Getting ever so slightly closer to Daniel, goes to the inside
Is he gonna turn in?
on the jump car. Oh,
Stick it. He's broke.
no, is that it? Oh, it gets real close to the back market there. It's not unsure as to who that is.
Oh, Daniel's turned around.
Oh, that is unfortunate for Daniel. He's had a
Leon's
great race.
getting taken out.
Oh.
So that's given. Oh my god, almost. That's given the lead to the driver who started last in this race.
So last to first in a truck race.
Indeed, we said it was going to be absolute chaos. It has lived up to absolute chaos.
It really has. It's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it?
It really, really is.
And they're still struggling to get past that back marker who takes final corner through the grass. Sorry, as Mateus actually does the same thing, but on the other side of the track. Yeah. Didn't seem like that one was the best line to take through that one. But I mean, if he's got a comfortable lead, then there's nothing to
Where's Kevin having
stress about, is there?
Paolo now in the Monster Energy truck with red wheels closing on the car in front of him. Who is Daniel? Geronimo.
This is battle for second.
It is.
So Daniel's actually, he's not lost as much ground as
Well, he's gone
you
wide.
perhaps would have
Almost hit
think.
the wall. He compromised his exit. See what Paolo does. Does he take to the grass or stick with the tarmac? Stick to the tarmac.
Yeah, a bit wide from Daniel, from Paul, sorry. And it's funny to see that they've actually adapted to that other line quite quickly. You saw at the beginning that they all took the grass instead of the tarmac through that final corner, but it seems like front runners have figured out that maybe that's not the fastest way to go around that one. But I think there's only one way to go through these couple of corners.
Those first couple of corners there.
Turn in for the first one and then you just go straight.
Paolo might have the better run coming up the hill. Daniel's hit the wall.
Big sideways for these drivers. Bit of Paulo, does he just barely misses the tire barrier on the left side
Oh,
of the final corner. Always Staines spun around.
Oh,
But,
and that's a car.
Take someone else with him. Can we? Are we lucky to get a replay? Because it seemed like he was
You'll be
actually
lucky.
gonna make it around
You'll be lucky.
the outside of the spinner there in the start-finish straight. Follow-up question: how do you spin on a straight?
I'll see if I can find it. Going on, I can't seem to get it. I think we have it here. No, I clicked the wrong thing. No, alright, let's go back. There we go. Is this it? No, this is from what happened with Leon earlier in the race.
That's Daniel. That must have been the accident he had with the Leon. Battle for first that those two drivers had. Punted and spun around. And it is lucky for all drivers that they don't have any.
This is Charlie Lord.
There's no really any rules for this race, otherwise it would have been even more carnage than it already is.
Oh, Charlie's just playing around with
Charlie,
Leon. Oh my god! He has been sent into the next universe. Was that Kevin?
I think, yeah, it might have been. I'm not quite sure. I think he's already left for the Beetle race. That's to come after this one. I think it's gonna be, if not as chaotic, then perhaps even more chaotic than this one has been. Small fast cars around a short, twisty track. That can't go well, can it? I remember doing.
To be honest, I thought this was going to be a lot worse than what it is. In terms of
Yeah,
racing.
actually,
Ash Knight.
Yes,
loving the wall there, and he's back on his roof.
Ash had a big of a moment at the in the background there, as we say that it's actually been quite clean compared to what you would have expected. I mean, in terms of track limits, it's as bad as we would have expected, or as well. Depending on how you look at it, there aren't any. So, in that regard, it's actually pretty successful.
Oh, that's another crash. He's going to take out the leader. He just manages to dodge it.
Yeah, someone trying to be nice to Ash there. Trying to flip him around. Good sportsmanship shown from everybody. There's nobody that's too important not to help each other out. That's what we love to see, isn't it?
Indeed, definitely. So your new leader then is Tiago. We should be reaching that 10 lap mark soon as... Oh my god, Liam, that was a failed attempt. Was that Michelle?
Gus.
That's Mike. Going back.
Yeah, that little thing. Oh! Big flip for Mike Elliott.
Week 13 is usually chaos, and it provides. Bonk. Bonk. New leader, Benjamin Sice.
And he's actually one of the drivers that had a really bad start, wasn't he? He got spun around or flipped, one of the twos at the beginning. Yeah, something like that, and everything just flips at an instant.
Look who was leading, and then ended up not.
Yeah, remember when Daniel was 5 seconds ahead and we thought that would have been an easy win for him, but it turns out that it's much more to it than just leading.
Exactly.
You have to...
So much fun, so much
You have to survive. See, is he going to be overtaken on the inside here?
He tries to.
Oh,
that's a good slide. Big
moment there. From, who's that in second place? Oh, big tap between the two. It's Costa. Telling Benjamin what's happening. Costa's in the wall. He's stuck in the wall. Trying to
I think the white
get Benjamin to as he's being hit, but yeah, sent straight back into the pit. So he tries to take out Benjamin, but in return gets sent into the shadow room.
So I think Benjamin's going to win this.
Yeah, there's a lot of times to crash, isn't there? Makes it to the penultimate corner of the T. As he turns in, goes on the grass,
have 20
slides across the tarmac. Just have to keep it straight. We've seen people spin here before. Could do it again. Big moment, and he's... Yeah, well, he's not across the line, but he's across the grass next to the line.
Leon was just celebrating with him there. So he's done some rooftop donuts to celebrate, but your winner for this first race, Benjamin Sice.
Incredible experience.
A little replay of Ash Knight crashing.
God tries to save it, but yeah, goes straight into the tire barrier, and that's just also shows how fine the margin of error is in this track. Perhaps not between turn 2 and turn 4, but since there's a huge patch of grass in between that. But other than that, it's actually the track's pretty close to the walls.
I see cars come from everywhere.
Who's that number 11 there? The background keeps on flipping.
Who flew down from space? Oh, this has been absolutely amazing. I've loved it so much. You can see Benjamin's still celebrating on his roof there. Everyone, giving everyone everything. Oh my god! Right, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back. But what's going on here? Have we got another race?
You have another one? Was it not? I thought it was just one race.
Is it heats? Let me look at the announcement. So while this is going on, we'll Green.
Got another one on the way. Kevin Berg.
So it looks like we're going for a second race. This was not mentioned.
It's about as unplanned as the racing here.
All it says was that. Oh, okay. It was the first.
For the broadcasters, at least.
It was the first car to reach 10 laps. Look at the lead these guys got already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was a bit confused because Kevin Berg seemed to be at front of the grid, but actually had a pretty slow start. For some reason, of course, he don't need a good start to win the races Benjamin showed last time. But it most certainly helps.
I've caught it. I caught the
Caught Kevin.
I caught the replay, and Kevin's had 2 crashes. He must have had an initial one, obviously, and then Ash Knight just likes to send people into the shadow realm.
Straight into space.
Indeed. But Kevin's back on his feet, and we're going to go back live.
I'm sure his Pro Truck would do quite well in the moon. A lot of suspension. Lots of horsepower. Perhaps the air intake will suffer a little bit, but that doesn't matter, does it?
You've got huge horsepower.
You're on the moon anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, big air. I just barely managed to keep it out the wall. Mr. Contact, yeah, there's contact for Kevin Knight with the barrier there. Oh, it's Andy Tatlin, sorry.
Indeed, yeah.
Not Ash Knight.
Something happened back here. All evenly spaced out. That's not good. Tiago's listened. He wants to get up there.
Things settling down? No way.
That was a premature comment. Things will heat up. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna. Is Andy Tatman gonna get a little nudge? He is.
Oh.
Gives one back.
But spicy old
Indeed, this is
Thiago. I still battle again, quite literally between the two. Lovely door-to-door racing. Big slide across the timeway. I think it would actually have been pretty fun to do this race. It's
indeed, yeah.
It's a tricky car to drive, isn't it?
It is.
No,
almost.
Someone comes sliding out of the pit lane. Completely disregarding the drivers coming from behind, approaching at high speeds. Of course, that wouldn't matter since there's no rules for anything, really. Mike Elliott showing why he is American. So, who's that reversing into the grid?
Oh, that's Benjamin Sice.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was seeing people.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Benjamin, he's
okay.
For some reason reversing onto the track again.
He was waiting.
Yeah, that was.
And then Mike was like, "Nope, not today."
That looked rather intentional from Benjamin, didn't it?
Oh, and he's still there. He's getting shoved by the other guys. Mike's been
trying to get flipped back around by his friends.
Bit of karma there, I think, for Mike. think Benjamin's going to be a walking roadblock. Or at least try to be, as Mike gets absolutely sent into the barrier. Benjamin's blocking the pits. We have some action. We do.
Love the dumping. Straight into the pits, perhaps.
Oh,
No.
managed
Just managed to keep it safe.
Indeed.
Yeah. So quite difficult to keep up with everything that's going on in this race.
It really is.
Everyone seemed to be leading with the huge gaps that's folded out.
Yeah, it's spread out for the moment, but I feel like everything is just going to close back up. Once again.
Everything can happen. We are about halfway through this race, I would guess. No idea how far we actually are, but yeah, 10 laps. A lot happened last time. A lot can still happen. Let's see. Michael goes in the grass. He's trying to overtake. No idea who that is in front of him. Some black cars, not Mike. Can't be. He was sent to space early on, as Charlie Lord goes sideways into the wall in the background.
We've got the lap times that people are doing, so about a minute a lap, so you would expect around the 10-minute mark. Again, like last race, around the 12-minute mark for this race to be under the white flag. And these two still going at it. Really close now. I can see the nose coming. There it is. And there's the hit from the guys sat on the straightaway.
See, it's actually Leon leading. I can see, oh, bit of a wall ride from Costa. Goal doesn't matter at the end of the day. Lives to race another lap. Still trying to get closer to it's Kevin Burke in front of him.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Small gap between the two is 2/10. If he does, he should be able to punt him off the circuit, but oh, seems like he got a punt there, but at the same time he lost control of his own car. So now, what is happening to Daniel is trying to jump with his Formula truck, and now tries to reverse it around. Will we see a reverse drift into forward? No.
Wow, okay. I got that right. That's Mike J. Elliott.
So that was our leader, wasn't it? Wasn't there one between? Oh no.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was our leader.
Yeah. Make some contact with Mark Elliott. I believe that may have been Matteo once again in the wall.
It was indeed. And then Leon.
And it's now, yeah, now it's Leon leading this race. He led it in the first lap. First race, sorry. Actually did quite well. How did Kevin Burke manage to get P1?
I don't know.
It's just driven back and
it's showing
forth.
that he's completed the most laps so far.
I'm not sure. And now I think he's been disqualified from the race. That would make sense since he's been
Yeah, he was
driving
the wrong way.
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, let's go back to TV.
Yeah, so Leon has actually done 10 laps now of this race. So I'm a bit confused as to why he has not been showing the checkered flag. But that doesn't matter, does it? We'll go another way.
Yeah, Leon's on
Take
lap
another
11.
ride around this track.
Yeah, so Leon's on lap 11. Oh, it's absolute carnage. Kevin's just rallying across now. Got the two cars in front of him, 71 and...
Kevin hunting down Kevin, right?
I think that's Kevin.
Kevin Stam is actually behind Kevin Burke.
That's Paolo.
In the standings, at least. Okay, Paolo now overtaking Kevin. Okay, so it was the other way around. Interesting.
Rally going for the side swipe, I think. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. He gets shoved into the pitch, but he does really well. Oh, maybe not.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, nice time from Charlie.
He still saves it.
That manages to, yeah, nice recovery.
Indeed.
Well saved.
I think at this point now we're just watching cars go around, well, trucks go around the track and just absolutely obliterate each other, which is still fun to watch.
It's something like that. It's a bit like Wreckfest, isn't it? Just a bit more realistic, as iRacing would say.
There's the pit maneuver. It's not worked.
Not the first time around. What about the second? You don't have to break into turn one if you can use your opponent as the barrier. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matteo, not aware of that tactic. Clearly showing that he has not done enough laps in the Pro 2 light truck and on this track without any limits. That's of course a shame for him. Leon leading a lot of laps, so he'll completing his 13th lap when he crosses the line in just a second.
This may be in the 15 lap heat format that we're going to have for later.
Yeah. So we'll see 2 more laps, so next time around should be white flag, if we are not mistaken. It's actually pretty interesting to watch this race, because of course you see the drivers cut most of the first sector at least, but they are still doing lap times relatively close to what you see from GT3. Ooh.
If I can get that.
As Benjamin sees collecting Leon.
I don't think I've got anything of that. Nothing from Kevin, no.
Kevin learned which way he was supposed to face. Of course that helps. As you know, oh, almost gets taken out there. Bit wide, but that's okay. We'll take it.
Don't know why. Did it crash? Okay, no, I can see that in the fucking... Excuse my language, I'm so sorry. You can see that in the distance.
Yep. Oh. That's one from Leon. Showing that even though he's P4. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
This is just too much chaos.
I think we just had a bit of a conflict there. Yeah, the white flag's out.
Oh yeah, so okay, it is a 15 lap race. See Thiago, he's coming up towards the final corner now. Hunted down by Matteo. It's gonna come down to whoever gets the best exit out of this one. Costa gets slightly one. But that doesn't matter because Matteo got a new worse one, so he'll be crossing that line in P1 there.
Dodges everyone very nicely.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'd say congratulations because it obviously shows that you have not done the whole point of this race, which is to crash into everybody else.
I think that's what the race
and not
is
win.
For.
Not winning.
I think Charlie's just gonna go straight for Leon here. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. He's got it. And then Kevin comes and slams in. And then other Kevin does as well. And then you can see. Where is he?
Well, it's one big domino effect.
Yes, it is. And Leon's just sandwiched between the tyre barriers there. But that, I believe, was Pro Truck. Yeah, that was trucks around Lime Rock Park.
Yeah, so now we should be seeing our drivers going onto the Japanese circuit that is Tsukuba. Some people may know it from Gran Turismo, if people have done that way. So I think a lot of people actually have started sim racing in Gran Turismo, right? And then they've moved their way over somehow to iRacing as they've received more money throughout that time. But interesting circuit Tsukuba. Another small track that I've done GT3 at. Not one that I've enjoyed doing GT3 at, but I've done it. Not actually sure if I completed the race, but I started it, and that's what counts. It's yeah, it's gonna be as horrendous as this one was, but a thrill to watch, I believe.
Okay, so I think we're going to take a quick break now, and we'll be back with you for the next event. Ladies and gents, we're back with the second session of tonight. We have the VW Beetle Light Rallycross cars at Tsukuba. So we've to just take a chill, Phil. Just relax.
It's gonna be a bit less hectic than the first one, I believe. As we're actually going to an actual racetrack with actual track limits. We have barriers all over the track where we saw on Landmark that you could just take the corner from turn 2 over to turn 4.
Yeah, fucking. We've got barriers left and right. You've got gravel traps. It's going to be very difficult for drivers to find advantage, but I assume track limits is on for this session. You can see drivers, they could have easily cut that corner, gained a few tenths, especially in these rallycross cars, but yeah, this is going to be quite interesting.
I'm sorry, I was just interrupted.
Okay. Interrupts at the best of times.
Be a lot of interruptions if it just half as chaotic as the first one.
And some nice liveries. Nice Dr. Pepper one there from Paolo. Tail. Nice one. And Tapman nice and black. Which I believe is the same one as Thiago's.
Oh.
That's a bit of a coincidence. And Ash Knight. And a drifting Daniel. I'm seeing a lot of off tracks again still on my little notification box down at the bottom. So Thiago has managed a 57-0. That's a start. One gets overtaken, right? Not soon, and is Red Dot, I believe. He's out on the track and goes straight into the back. Great start, Mike. Great start. It's possibly a track that few drivers haven't driven. I think Mike's showing us why drivers aren't going off track.
When I did my first races in iRacing, of course, back in the rookie days, these were one of the racetracks I tend to enjoy the most in the as a MX-5 and Pontiac's Solar. Which Pontiac is it?
Yeah, I think it's Pontiac Solstice.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah. It's actually produced some fun racing around here, but you'll need a low-powered car because as I mentioned earlier on, I've done this race in the GT3 as well, and I know people that have done it in the LMP2, and it's
LMP2.
yeah, it's no, it was a privately hosted session. The idea was a little. it was similar to what we have right now, so basically just take a car that does not fit on this track and then see what it's like to go around it.
I mean, I'm still racing. This is just an idea, but what about a Formula 1 car on a rallycross circuit? Would you like to see that?
Yeah, it's actually an interesting question. I've seen a video of someone taking a Formula 1 car to a rallycross track, of course, without damage.
Yeah.
Although I think it's gonna be quite difficult. I don't actually think it was as bad as you would expect. You of course need to be very gentle with the throttle, otherwise you're just gonna spin around every time you just think about touching the throttle. But I think it's somewhat doable, as doable as it is to take a F1 car off-road or off track or whatever you wanna call it.
What about
just over
6 minutes left of practice? We're seeing Daniel and Thiago at the top of the times, way in front of the top times actually, in these rallycross cars.
Yeah, so they actually seem to come to grip with these cars relatively fast. That's why some of the other drivers are not as fast as getting to know the car. We've seen, of course, Daniel on our leaderboard. He does a 56.9. Then we have Thiago. He's just slightly behind with, just about a 10th away. And then behind him we have Paulo. He's 6/10 away, and then he just has a slight gap between every other driver from there on and down. But there's still a reasonable gap between people.
I think I'm the one to watch out for. The two quick guys at the top trying to make their way through the fields behind them.
Daniel, Thiago, of course, we can now see that they're pretty fast in these cars, but they were pretty fast in the Pro 2 lights as well. Constantly running at the top. Fortunately, they had some incidents throughout the race that did not allow them to complete the races.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you go into a week 13 race.
Indeed it is. Always chaos. Week 13, there's brand new stuff you don't normally ever see. Whether it be...
And that's the beauty of sim racing, isn't it? You can take whatever you want to whatever track you want. Doesn't have to make sense, as long as you can dream it.
You could even stick a next-gen cup car around Fuji now, if you really, really wanted to.
You absolutely could.
Just take a track and a car, mash them together, and then you've got a session. With some great...
Pro 2 lights around Fuji? No, I don't think that would be fun, actually.
Possibly not, since the track's pretty big.
Talking about a big track, it got one of the longest straights in motorsport history.
Yeah.
I looked it up today. It's 1.5 kilometers.
Really? Wow.
Track it. The start-finish straight. Yeah, it's a long time to sit with the throttle down.
Indeed.
Especially in the MX-5 or Pontiac or Volkswagen Jetta. If you just take it up a notch.
Indeed. Yeah, imagine the bump drafting with those as well.
Oh yeah.
Along down that straight. Yeah, it could. And there's Kevin Burke just getting onto the grass and then just losing it a little bit. I've watched Thiago now. Just trying to put into my head what other crazy stuff we could do. Cars and tracks, obviously.
Yeah, there's a lot of. You mentioned Formula One tracks around a dirt track. You could do dirt oval with LMP1s, just to try and one up you.
The Audi
I'm not sure if
the car of choice there.
The Porsche wouldn't do well.
I think
even though both car brands actually have a rally history.
Indeed. Kevin, if you're listening, LMP1, dirt oval.
Dirt oval.
If you can, make it happen.
Yep. Thank you.
That actually would be pretty fun, I think. It'd be very interesting to see what...
it would definitely be interesting. Perhaps not fun in the moment, but I think it could be actually pretty fun to watch, definitely. At least.
Yeah.
Other insane car track combos.
NASCAR at Le Mans. Now we know Roger Penske wants to
NASCAR at Le Mans.
We know Roger Penske wants to bring a NASCAR to Le Mans. I believe it's next year, in 2023. But
I'd love to hear that.
Just having the stock cars go around there.
IndyCar at Le Mans.
IndyCar at Le Mans, yeah.
Maybe F1 at Le Mans, actually.
Also,
we saw that last year with Alpine as part of the.
Indeed, yeah.
The entry into the hybrid car class took the Alpine F1 car out.
Mm-hmm.
For track, the first F1 car on the Le Mans circuit of Les Autres. Interesting to witness. Makes sense why they don't do it normally.
It would be nice to see an F1 race on the Bugatti circuit there. Obviously.
Yeah, I think the Bugatti circuit would be a bit too tight, but I remember I've done it in R Factor thing, and it's actually a pretty fun circuit. I could definitely see it going into iRacing with some kind of GT3 races around there, and that would produce some great racing, because you go off. For those that are unfamiliar, you go off right after the Dunlop, so where you go through the S's and then you take a left followed by a right after. You, instead of going left, you just keep on going to the right. It's essentially just a very long hairpin.
Yeah.
And then you have track in the middle, and then you come back out in the middle of Fort Chicane. Or is it just before the Fort Chicane? You end up there somehow at the end, and then you go for another lap. I think we are actually done with practice now.
Yeah, done with practice, so we managed to pass that by. We're into qualify now. It's a two-lap lone qualifier, I think. Before we head off into 2 15-lap heats.
Another insane combo. Yeah, 24-hour races with Formula 1 cars.
And you can do that with NASCARs as well.
Well, yeah.
24 hours of Daytona.
Multi-class racing.
Oh yeah, get the cup cars, the Xfinity, and the trucks all in one.
Yeah.
Daytona Oval. Oh, that would be brilliant.
"24 hours at Tsukuba. Now that we're here, just stay. Keep on racing. 24 hours of dirt rally. Dirt racing. Sorry, dirt road. Just 24 hours of any track that you are not normally supposed to go. around for 24 hours consistently. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna. The timer isn't going down on my iRacing. Glitched out a little bit. So we'll try and get this fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, no. iRacing does not want to play ball. It still seems to think I've got iRacing running. I don't. Do apologise. Okay, my iRacing doesn't want to work.
That is
It
unfortunate.
Yeah, it keeps telling me to close iRacing when I've not got it open.
Yeah, that is quite difficult to do.
So we're just going to take a little break, see if we can sort this out. We will be back with you shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Sorry about that. I do apologise.
Oh, just in time to watch qualifying take.
I think we just missed qualifying actually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So getting back right in time for all the exciting stuff, and it's actually a pretty interesting qualifying. We almost witnessed Costa taking pole position in front of Daniel, so they switched positions around from the practice where we saw, those two drivers taking a different lineup. So we will have, if we take the starting position now, we'll have Costa and Geronimo and P1 and 2. Then follow up is Lopez and Kevin Stam. Then we have guarding Ash Knight, Liam Van Elwood, Charlie Lord, Matthias Lemari, then Kevin Burke, and at the back of the field we'll have Andy Tadman lining up next to Mike J. Elliott. So actually, not as much time splitting the midfield as you may have expected, especially when we saw the practice session come to an end. But let's see, it's not about practice, it's not about qualifying, it's about your race pace and race car. So 5 red lights, and away we go on this beautiful launch from the third place. So that's going to be Kevin Stam up into second place already. Going to be overtaken by Daniel. He's going to look for move around the outside of Lopez. Sorry, who I'm confusing myself. Is Daniel Geronimo leading right now? And it's actually Lopez. He's up into P2. So what happens to Costa? He's already down to P11. Has he started from the pit lane or something like that? Let's see, I think we may have a replay here.
No, he just didn't grid up.
Oh, he's not in the grid. Alright. That's why I was a bit confused as to why Kevin Stam was in P3. Of course, qualified P4 at the beginning of the race. So it is Daniel. He's taking the lead as we go down the back straight into the final corner. Going around. So he will be being the first lap here, followed by Paul Lopez, and then it's Kevin Stam being a small train of course, Kevin Stam at the beginning. Then it's Girding, Knight, Lord, and then Elwood sliding up. And then we have a bit of a gap down to Lemire? Matteo.
Yeah.
Car 43.
Indeed, the French driver. Yeah, a bit of a gap.
Yeah, it's actually the racing itself is significantly more clean than you may would have expected. Seeing that we have no track limits, of course, as I mentioned, it is quite hard to actually cross the track limits and gain an advantage from this, seeing that you don't really have the same amount of space between the different parts of the tracks as we had in Lime Rock. As I mentioned, you can cut pretty much the first sector if you want to. Yeah, the other place you can really cut a bit of turn 1, then a bit of turn... Yeah, what is that? The final hairpin before the back straight. But I'm not actually sure if that is faster, because of course you'll have to go onto the grass.
You cut this corner, yeah. A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But once again, you'll have to go on the grass where you don't have as much traction.
Let's see. Mr. Gerding. Just behind a little train yet. Of himself, Ash Knight and Kevin Stam. Kevin leading this train, Ash Knight second and Michelle third.
Actually not a whole lot happening in this race. It's settled down quite nicely. Yeah, lots of turn to to watch go through the track of this. Akuba's girding actually goes for some track limit.
That was an interesting line, that. I'd say that could have worked if you got that right.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe you could actually take that line, cut the corner, and then go straight for some kind of move around the outside at least.
Exactly.
Yeah, trying to play a bit of mind game with your opponent. Of course, you still don't have any track limits. The track, as I've mentioned a lot of times now. So we have a bit of a battle behind here. It's behind Grading. We have Lord and Elwood. So is that coming up on top of that battle? It looks like Lord has actually come out on top, so he's must have gone around the outside of Elwood into turn 1. Again, beautiful livery from Charlie Lord. He seems to carry this one around pretty much wherever he goes. His signature skull.
Now we've had a bit of a moment.
It's a replay of Kevin Stam.
Yes.
What's happened? It's the second hairpin. It's just after turn 1.
Oh,
Really single. Yeah, that or he tries to play with his handbrake. Not quite sure.
Ash Knight's view.
Yeah. It's gonna be easier to judge, at least. You go in. Yeah. Yep. There we have it.
Going on Ash Knight. Hey, Kevin's stayed.
Caught in 4K. Yeah, he tries to come back and give Ash something of his own medicine. Doesn't quite work out. He finds the nice inner Kevin.
You get the switchback. Looks like a run somewhat. On the outside, Michelle defending the inside. Oh, Michelle hits the curb at the wrong spot, I think. Does that compromise his run? It seems to, and Michelle's...
Yeah, ooh, late braking from Michelle. Yeah, oh, and a bit of dog banging as well.
Indeed, bit of wheel banging, but Michelle just got his braking point wrong. I like Kevin's to capitalize.
I think that's what happened as well.
Yeah.
But beautifully executed from Kevin, taking advantage of his opponent's mistakes and getting himself up into P4 professionally. Got great pace. Let's see if he can keep it going. Catch up to some of the guys in front of him. He got about 1.5 seconds to catch up to Ash Knight, who then again have 4 seconds up to Paul Lopez, who is actually still in a pretty nice fight with Daniel. So incredible pace from Lopez. While not being in the top 2 positions from qualifying, he's still managing to keep up with Daniel. Is that his fellow countryman? I'm not quite sure. Where's Daniel from?
I'm not sure where
Daniel
is from.
The only thing I can judge that from his small flag, and I think I'm not sure who would be
It's just coming up as the region of Iberia.
Yeah. So perhaps, maybe, don't actually know it. Trying to fill out some shoes of another great Spanish rally driver. Because I'm not sure if Carlos Sainz, real Carlos Sainz, so to say, has Carlos Sainz Senior, as I think his name would be. He's done any rally cross, but he's definitely done rally. People that has followed that would know who Carlos Sainz Senior is.
He's currently competing in I don't know if it was Formula E or the Dakar Rally. Not sure which one.
Yes, he's competing in the Dakar E, I believe. some kind of E-Pre.
Yeah.
He's been competing in, but I'm not too much into electric motorsport, sadly. So no, I would not be one to know.
Extremely.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. But I'm not sure who
Oh, Daniel goes a bit deep there.
driven for. Not under too much pressure, Daniel. He's still keeping a nice gap to Lopez. He's just trying to
last night with a
catch
mistake.
up. Ooh.
Yeah, Michelle to go up on the podium.
He's definitely looking for it. Nice battle with Girding. It's gonna allow Kevin. No way. Kevin Stam is back to P7. So what has happened to Kevin?
Don't know, but Michelle's
Have we?
gone deep into the corner, so
yeah.
Ash Knight's got back. Really intense on these two drivers. We're now at
Lovely from Ash.
Michelle trying to get a little switch back, riding the curb, trying to get the most grip as possible, but I think Ash Knight is going to stay in front here as Daniel is in the pits.
It's actually going to mention that it is possible to go around the outside of that corner if you're brave enough. Not sure how possible it is to do in a rally car, as I've not done that one around Tsukuba. But if you are brave, it should be possible.
Indeed, he
but
sent it
it
down the
goes up
inside.
the inside. Oh, bit of door banging, but that's what we love to see. And does he wait for him? No, he does not. He just says thank you. I'll have that one.
And then look who's arrived at the
Lovely
party.
send from Girding. Actually, Charlie Lord then taking advantage of the contact they have had. Overtaking Ash Knight, and then does Michael what Ash did to him last time around. Almost. It's alongside on the back straight, and that is Girding going into the pits.
I'm starting to think there's a mandatory pit stop in this race.
Well, that would definitely make sense.
We've seen a lot of drivers go in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Charlie in the corner. Ash Knight's
Yeah, you can see Kevin Stam is pitted. Because of Girding in the pits.
Oh.
It's actually come out in the fastest pit time. He's been in there for 4 seconds and 98.5
Let's just rewatch.
hundredth of a second. This is for the final podium position. Ash Knight.
Charlie defends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like he wants to make the move around the outside, but get caught out somehow by Charlie Lord's early braking, sorry, and then it is just straight into the gravel trap for him. Yeah, so Charlie Lord into the pits now, and then we only need Paulo Lopez into the pit and Ash Knight as well. So the interesting question now is, where will Lopez come out compared to Geronimo? And where's Daniel? Daniel, he is a lap behind actually, as I can see from my standings.
In the background there, Power's in now.
Yep.
Watching the gap to Kevin Stam actually. P3. You mentioned he's already made his stop. What's Ash Knight gonna do? Stay out.
For now. If it is a 15 lap race, as we saw in the first race with the Pro 2 Lights trucks, he will have to come in the next lap. Otherwise, it's gonna be too late for him. We have a white flag? No, not yet. So I think this one may actually be time-based. Yeah, okay, so Ash is actually in, so he's just taking a very late pit entry compared to all the others. Complete disregard for the pit entry lane, because once again, it doesn't matter. This is no track limits. Let's promote Kevin Stam into P2, Paulo Lopez still P1. Everybody seemed to have done the pit stops. And Daniel Geronimo is still in P8, so it's interesting. I'd like to know what happened to him. Ash Knight still in the pit. From the look of my timings, what is Ash doing? Maybe taking a bit too much fuel.
I think he's got to stop and hold for unsafe pitch.
Ah,
The way he came in, yeah, he's gonna let down to Paolo.
that would make sense with the 46-second pit stop that he's had. Everybody else, just for a bit of reference, have been doing just about 5 seconds of pit time. Then we have Matteo Limari on 11 seconds, and then it's otherwise going to be 46 seconds, then actually 17 seconds from Leon, and then 50 seconds from Ash Knight as well. So it looked like 2 drivers may have, taking a bit, the pit entry a bit too late.
Indeed.
There we say so. But still, Paulo Lopez, he's going to be finishing his 15th lap in just about a moment. He's finished it there. As we see him crush the line, go into P1. It's not Kevin Stam you're seeing in the background. It's Green Castle. There might be Ash Knight, as we've seen from early on. He's not in P2. He is, in fact, in P8. So he's lost out in a lot with that penalty that he might have had in the pit lane. Was fighting for the podium positions at the beginning of this race, but does not seem to be up there anymore. Paulo Lopez. It's again coming out to back straight, and we are halfway through the race time-wise at least. We are 15 minutes and 30 seconds into this first heat, and that leaves me with the question, what kind of race are we doing now? Is it a time-based race or is it a lap-based race?
Just double check on iRace.
Yeah.
So we've got a 30 minutes / 20 laps race. Oh no, so
Okay.
this is heat 1, 30 minutes, 20 laps.
20 laps will be completed in 3.5 lap time. We are currently on the 16th,
And
so
then we're going to get a 3-minute warm-up before we go into another 30-minute 20.
yeah. Ooh, lovely drifting
And all
from
the-
Lopez.
I think all grid is going to get reversed
For the second race.
for the second race. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a nice little way to spice up the grid. We've seen a lot of nice reverse grids from our Formula 3 series that will be continued in just about a week's time, as well as our Formula 1 and Formula 3 series. So that will be
Indeed.
here in iRacing as well, if you'd like to join.
We
You
do
can
have.
follow,
Oh, go on. Yeah.
yeah, you can follow I believe there's some kind of instruction as to how you join those 3 series, or at least just one of them, depending on what you'd like to participate in on the website. That's antistallracing.com. Otherwise, you can join the Discord. That is discord.gg/ASR.
Yeah. We also do have our GT3 series coming back this Friday, which I'm hoping to compete in myself actually. If you want
Yeah,
to
and
join,
you say
feel free. There's still
you
places
say you
left.
wanna compete in it. Have you competed in any of the other GT3 series we've had? Of course, we've had the first season, then we've had some of the Christmas races and some
Indeed, yeah.
test GT3 races as well.
I did do the Xmas series that we had. I really enjoyed that. But after that,
Yeah.
I just sort of fell into the streaming role and just played a part that way in ASR. But I'd love to get back racing. That gives me the opportunity to. So I'm looking forward to it. Hoping to be competitive.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch people race and give you some blood on the tooth, as we say in Danish, to race yourself. And go out and show what you are capable of doing. Because what is a big pro of joining a league, as we have here in ESR, is that you'll get some pretty good racing with people that are like-minded to you. And even though it's a big field with lots of different people with a different I rating, you'll always have someone to compete with. So even though you may not be in the top 5, you'll still have some great races.
Indeed, you will.
And a lot to fight for.
Definitely. And not only that, there's prizes available. So everyone's a winner. And
Yeah, more or less.
yeah. So I think for these little week 13 races, pardon me, that we've had, the winning driver overall is going to get 15 iRacing credits, which they can put towards whatever they want to. But yeah, for the GT3 series that we've got, we have actual paid money prizes. But enough of me talking about that. For the first race, your winner, Paolo Lopez, he comes across the line just about now. We're out the final corner. Kevin's now in the background, second place. Was Charlie Lord?
Lovely racing from Paolo.
Yeah, definitely.
Starting P3, managing to have a lovely fight with Geronimo, and then ending up into P1. So it's our top 3 podium positions settled. Let's see Michael Girding coming across the finish line just about now. P4 than Mateo, yeah. Daniel, then Leon will be finishing in about 16 seconds time. But that should be it for our first race, yeah. Oh, lovely drifting from Leon. Shame he didn't manage to make that one stick through the entire corner. That would have been lovely to see. Talking about drifting, I actually think this track is used for actual drifting.
Yeah, it's got a layout for it, definitely.
It really has.
So, at the moment, you got a 3-minute warm-up. And drivers will be asked to take the grid for the second race, where the entire grid will be reversed. I think... Okay, no, never mind. The session's been advanced. So, you're supposed to have Mike J. Elliott on pole position and Thiago Costa in second place. I don't think that's going to happen with them not being in the first race. So, I would assume pole position effectively is going to go to Andy Tapman. Second place, Kevin Burke. Third place, Ash Knight. Fourth, Michael Girding. Fifth for Leon. Sixth for Daniel. Seventh, Mateo. Eighth for Charlie. Ninth for Kevin. And 10th for Paolo. Seeing that. So we will, I think, wait until the countdown goes. Oh, no. We are up to 5 red lights.
Green, green, green.
They're out almost instantly, and away we are. For what I think is going to be our final race of Week 13 Madness. Because the contact there between Kevin Burke and Michael Girding. Daniel Hieronymo spun around, helped by Charlie there. See Ashley at the inside. Need Tapman. Just to hold on somewhat.
Very good start from Ash Knight. He's up into P2, started P5 on the grid.
Oh, that's contact.
Oh, yes, contact.
Whether that intentional or not, I do not know, but...
Contact with Andy Tapman.
There we go.
This as we have. Trying to go through right into a small hairpin does not usually goes nicely. Is that Tapman at the end of the field, going sideways out of the hairpin. Now see Kevin Stam. Can he get... pushes his way through the field, hits one guy Girding, and then flies over to the other side of the track and hits another one.
And there's Andy Tapman taking Kevin out.
Tapman tapped Kevin out.
And then through the result of that, Kevin Burke takes the lead. Paolo hot on his heels?
No, also Paulo already up into P2. Taking advantage of all the carnage we've seen on the first lap. Bit more spectacular than the first race we had around here. See, Lopez sees a lot of smoke, so I'm not actually sure what's happened there. Ooh, contact with Ash Knight.
The corner. Matteo is in the way, so he can't take now.
So you see, is that Lopez that he's going to overtake here? Oh,
That's
no,
Charlie Lord.
that's Charlie Lord, yeah.
Outside.
Yes, it is.
You said, didn't you, that you would overtake around the outside?
You most certainly can, if you're brave enough.
Matteo was certainly definitely brave enough.
If you're brave enough and have wide enough shoulders, then you can do anything.
Exactly.
Okay, oh, bit of an inside move from Girding, I believe that is.
Indeed, yeah. So he's not messing around.
Going side by side with Matteo. Just briefly, that is. You try and set up the move. Will he? Okay, so he doesn't go for the off-track move that we saw early on. Was that from Matteo? No, from Girding. That took that line off the track into a into a dive bomb.
I'm not too sure. I think it may be.
Yeah, I'm not too sure neither. some car. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that one again.
Ash Knight on the inside now. Lovely move. And crashed. And almost taking everyone out as he rejoins the track. Leon drifting his way through the middle of the circuit. Locks up, allows Charlie to get past.
A bit too wide off the final chicane. You don't want to ruin your exit out of that one when you have a long straight coming up. Neither do you want to ruin your exit out of this long right-hander. Ooh, as Leon shows what he's learned from final lap of the first race here. It's actually, who's that going purple? That is Geronimo with the 57.04. Geronimo just in front of Leon and Lord. He's gonna want to take some comeback and show why he was at the front of the grid for the first race. Fortunately, we've lost Costa and Mike Elliott, so Elliott, sorry. See, actually, only Daniel from our front row left. That is still 50% of the front row. From the qualifying, that is. He's really pushing that piece of machinery around the track, isn't he? Using every inch of the track available to him that will allow his car to go faster. Because even though you have a rallycross car, it is not necessarily faster to go on the grass. Actually interesting, we haven't seen anyone cut the grass there, now that I mention it. Going into that hairpin, I think going straight there may be faster? I'm not too sure. Definitely won't have to struggle with your car being a bit unbalanced as you drove it through a bit of a chicane. It's not an actual chicane, but it's a left-right for the car. In hot pursuit of Kevin Stam, that is once again trying to hunt down Garlish. Girding, sorry, not Garlish. Something else. Kevin, he's looking up the inside. As we cut away to Ash Knight, trying to make a move on Charlie Lord. Not gonna work this time around. It's a bit too late. A breaking move from Ash Knight. Geronimo was actually gone past Kevin's dad. So he didn't manage to finish his move there on Girding. But let's see if Geronimo can make that one stick. He's going for a bit of an undercut, it looks like. Ending up in the rear of Girding. Gonna be looking for a move into the final corner. I think as Kevin Sam goes into the pit lane as our first driver. Trying to go for an undercut on all the others. Oh, bit of a move, bit of a tap there from Lord, yeah. That could have gone very wrong very fast. Lord still trying to find his way around Charlie. Just because you're racing in a small car at a small track does not make it easier for them.
Almost like you've been in a go-kart. You're able to chuck the car in, quite short.
Yeah, that's actually, the track does remind me a bit of a go-kart track. Lots of hairpins, some sharp corners. Not any major big straights. You of course have the back straight that leads into a fast right-hander that then again leads into a short start-finish straight. But it's not too insane. It's not Fuji, at least. Nothing is quite like Fuji. It's a.
No, every track has got his own characteristics.
Yeah, maybe Nürburgring. You have a long straight there on the Nordschleife.
Yeah, you do.
That is 1.5 kilometers. That is a good question.
Oh, and the tank man's had a crash. What's happened here?
Tadman and Kevin going for a woo. Yeah.
He mounted the back of that man's car, getting round. Oh, just well to dodge that.
Sends himself straight into the barrier.
Indeed.
Yeah, so Kevin getting a bit too lovely with Andy. Really now into the pits. You'll start to see a lot of people box now, I believe.
I think so.
And I think some of the drivers have learned from the mistake last time around. Don't go into the pit exit right as it starts. You'll have to take the entire thing. Otherwise, it's a 40-second stop and go. Which, of course, can cost you almost an entire lap, as a lap is just about just about a minute.
That's almost a lap.
It almost is.
Big consequence for a little mistake.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to pay for a bit of a shortcut. I don't think it pays off.
No. Oh, a bit of contact there. You're just getting the side of the Matteo there. And again.
Still banging doors as it comes down the straight. And I mean, even though it's not an actual move around the outside, it just shows how big of an advantage you can have if you're just a bit braver than your opponent going into the corner at least.
Exactly. Matteo did very well coming out the final corner to pinch Daniel into it.
Yeah.
But
He then tries to drift through the first corner, but that doesn't really... I mean, it looked cool, but is it effective? No, fortunately not. Yeah, on the grass. Compromising his entry into the final hairpin. Kevin Burke goes into the pit from his third position on the grid.
He's had a quite decent race, I think.
Yeah, he's actually started at the front of the grid and then just kept the car there. Pretty well driven from Kevin. As we talk of Kevin, we have Kevin Stam up into P3.
Under pressure though, I think a bit from...
so another driver that's doing pretty well. Yeah, so Kevin P3 is running quite well. As Paulo is actually pitting right now, so he's going to be the first leader we'll have pit. Let's see where he comes out. It's not a fast pit stop from Paulo. Although it's the third fastest, it's still... Yeah. Ooh, it's just going to come out right in front of... that's not Kevin, that's a back mark, I believe. Is that Andy Tadman?
Yeah.
Kevin Stam P2, so he's managed to make his undercut work pretty well, I must say. So when he came in, he was P4. If I'm not mistaken, he was on the podium. It's just about trying to keep away from the battle that was going on in front of him between Girding and who was the other guy? I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's managed to make that one work pretty well. He's now got Gian Geronimo behind him. 3.5 seconds, that is, between those two drivers. We'll have to... He most certainly is. He's gained 9 positions, actually, since the beginning of the race. Meaning that he's have started...
11 positions back. That's the first. The second race. Won the first, grid was reversed, and Power leads the way.
Yeah, we just mentioned Kevin Burke and how well he's driven at the beginning of the race. He's of course been aided by being one of the late pitters in this race. So he's actually now down into P7. He did have a brief moment of success in the podium places, wishing that they could have stopped the count. Kevin Stam, bit of a lone driver going into turn 1, but we do see Geronimo in the background just appearing there in the top of your screen. So he's hunting him down, and Kevin should be able to see him in the rearview mirrors if he's using those. Of course, they just have to look straight, try and keep the car on track, be fast, be solid, be consistent, nonetheless try and survive the last couple of races that we'll have. Is it a 20-lap race again? Brody, can you confirm?
I believe this is the last race.
Yeah. Yeah, how many is it? 20 laps again?
Yeah, 20 laps.
Yeah, okay. So we've completed 16 from Paulo.
Paulo is on his 17th lap.
So we're nearing the finish of the race. Geronimo is 2.9 behind Kevin, so it is doable. His fastest lap is just about half a second faster than Kevin, so they'll have to find some fast pace to be able to keep up. if you want to improve his own position, of course, gonna just have to stay where he is and keep the consistency going. So we are on our 18th lap. Paulo Lopez. Talk about an interesting beginning at the start of the race. We still have some drivers that are relatively close to each other. We have Ash Knight, he's the second behind Charlie Lawson. That's battle for P5. I think that's a position Ash would love to get back. He's started P5, he's now down to P6. It's a -1 net gain. Yeah, doing everything he can to get into those rear view mirrors of Charlie Lord. Win the mental battle of those two. That's half of it. Once that is done, he'll just have to go and make the actual move that will promote him into the top 5 position. And back to a net 0 gain of the race. Of course, that's what you want to do. He's pretty close. He's within 4/10 of Charlie. As you go into the right-hander, staying nice and close throughout that corner. Not quite close enough for a move just yet. So trying to set it up.
I think.
Oh, yeah, looks like Charlie got a bad exit. What about Ash? Does he have anything up his sleeve? He's going for the outside move. Perhaps a bit of cutback. I think it's about it. Yeah. Doesn't get any move done into that corner, but better traction out of the hairpin. Ooh. Trying to go for the late move up the inside, but Charlie defends it. Yeah, lovely defending.
I've just noticed the white flag is out.
Yeah, that's the final lap for Paulo Lopez.
I think this is the battle we're going to stick with. Oh, there's a bit of a tag. Charlie saves it really well. Does he keep the position? Ash is all over the back of it.
Yeah, Ash is not giving up.
This is excellent stuff.
They're not done until they cross the finish line. Oh, and now he's got the chance to go for the outside move, but once again goes in a bit too deep into the corner. Doesn't make it stick, unfortunately. He's still on the back. With a bit of traction. Paulo Lopez, if you want to switch to him, goes over the finish line now, and it's 2 for 2. As we go back to Ash Knight. Shout out to Kevin Stam into P2, and he go for the outside. We've seen it done before. Let's see if he's breaking a little bit of stop action. It's gonna be interesting.
Robin's racing, but I think Charlie Lord's gonna hold on. He does. And that.
Lovely finish up. Would have loved to see Ash Knight make that move stick.
Chaotic bonanza. We can see everything here. This is Kevin Burke is doing sideways donuts. I think that's something I've never seen before in a motor vehicle.
Can we have an instant replay of that one?
After he's been sent up into space.
Oh, almost. Will we see donuts on the side?
Oh no, I clicked the wrong thing again.
No.
Are we going to see it? Let's wait for it. Round and around and around and around he goes.
incredible exclusive content only here at ASR.
Exactly. And you could be a part of this amazing content. You come and join us on Discord. And get the absolute rush that these guys get. So
Yeah, I love the week 13 stuff going on.
Indeed, I think this is my first week 13, content-wise, covering 4 SR, and we've had so many different things. Different things happen. A lot of things happen actually. A lot of crazy stuff. We've had the trucks at Lime Rock, and with the 2 races, and then the 2 races in the Beatles here at Tsukuba. It's been pretty wacky.
It's certainly something special to not only witness but also try and broadcast it.
Indeed, yeah.
I mean, the second race we had here was a bit more, what do you say, normal in a way.
Relaxed and
as normal as West Coast cars around a road circuit gets. But yeah, it's interesting to try and commentate, especially when you don't have any track limits, to try and figure out what's going on, who's crashing into who's actually coming out on top, where's everybody on track, how does the guy that was leading for half the race with 10-second gap to P2 suddenly end up in the back of the grid on the roof.
Indeed,
so lots of factors coming into play.
But I think that is all we have time for tonight. It's been a pleasure having you here in the booth, Ule.
It was a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to commentate with you, Bodie.
Definitely. You're more than welcome to join us once again. I think that's going to be goodbye from us. And join us on Friday for our GT3 series. 2nd season at the Red Bull Ring. You don't want to miss it.